So hey everybody, I have Matt from Bonsai on the call here. We're just going to really quickly go over what Bonsai is and how it all started and your story behind, because Bonsai is only a few years old, right Matt?
Yeah, Bonsai's about 2 years old. One of my good friends and I, both of us have been freelancers in the past. Started it after having one too many beers talking about our experiences freelancing, and got after a lot of different discussions, basically came down to the realization that a lot of the most talented designers, developers, writers, translators that we knew who were freelancing were not often the most successful. Often didn't make the most money or didn't have the most stable business. Like, that's kind of crazy, right? You think if you're in the NBA and you're a great basketball player, you should be one of the top people in the league. Like, why is that not the case with freelancers? And it just kind of hit us like a truck. And it was like, well, freelancing is not just about designing, developing, writing, whatever your craft is. A huge part of it is running a business, and there are so many parts of that. You have to be a lawyer, you have to be an accountant, you have to be the angry person that calls up the client, threatens them if they don't pay. And so started thinking about ways that we could take all those things that weren't the core craft, that weren't designing or developing or writing, and put those into software and put those into to workflow. And long story short, that's kind of how Bonsai came to be, taking all the annoying parts of freelancing and kind of outsourcing them to Bonsai.
So for those of you who don't know what Bonsai is, just run us through a really quick elevator pitch of what Bonsai actually does.
Yeah, absolutely. So we help freelancers run their business. We have a set of tools that allow you to create proposals really easily. Once the client accepts those proposals, we can help you more or less automatically create a legally binding work contract that the client can sign electronically. Once the contract's signed, we can automatically generate invoices for you. If you give us permission, we can even send those invoices and send reminders for you. You can track your time through Bonsai and even get paid online. So really go from beginning a relationship with the client all the way to the money, arriving in your bank account with minimum hassle and minimum work on your side.
Nice. The one thing that I like about Bonsai compared to the others is that the workflow that you have is so clean and simple. Your interface is beautiful. So tell us, your background was in freelancing, right?
Yeah, my co-founder and both of our backgrounds, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and your co-founder is also named Matt, right? Matt and Nish. So how did you guys find each other and sort of start this thing?
Just through mutual friends in San Francisco. Kind of, I think we were at dinner one night. A lot of his friends that I knew were big cooks, and so they'd have these kind of family dinners where they'd invite a bunch of people over and cook a big meal, and everybody would kind of mix and talk with each other. And over the course of a couple of these dinners, we would always gravitate to each other, talking about freelancing and the kind of shared struggles. And anytime you put two freelancers in a room, they'll always commiserate and swap tips and all that. It's kind of like it's like the least secret society. So we just kind of gravitated to each other because of that, and conversation made its way to what could be done to make people who are just starting out in freelancing, who, again, maybe you're this amazing designer or writer or photographer, but don't have that business skill, or don't want to spend a lot of time investing in developing that. How can we still make them successful?
Now, Bonsai was backed by Y Combinator, right?
Yep, exactly. We went through the winter 2016 batch.
Awesome. So yeah, you got some real big players behind you. Your support team's excellent. You guys are really you're answering most of the chat messages, which is awesome to see a CEO, a co-founder really on there, diving deep into the trenches with everyone else. So what is the big next step for you guys? You're doing expenses. That's sort of your next big thing. How are you hoping to tie that all together?
Yeah, I think we've added in the last couple months a lot of these different products, so expenses, proposals. Big thing for us for the next couple months is really doubling down and tying those together a lot more. So adding a lot more automation, adding a lot more kind of smart features behind the scenes. So you have to do even less to go from a proposal to a contract, to an invoice to a payment. This has happened, this does happen where, you fill in the details of a proposal, and then you have to spend probably, less than a minute throughout the lifetime of the contract, the project, to actually have the money arrive in your bank account. We want to, our goal is to get that down to 0 seconds, where basically you just say to Bonsai, this is the project that I'm doing, this is how much I should get paid, this is who the client is. And in an ideal world, what we're working towards is, that's it. That's all we need. You go ahead and do your work, and Bonsai's this, this person behind the screen that just does everything you need for you, and the money arrives in your account. And that's kind of the, like I said, that's this ideal, end game that we want to get to, where Bonsai takes care of it and I can just focus on what I love doing. That's kind of what what we're working towards.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I really liked about Bonsai, that you have sort of an AI conversational type interface going on. So I know a lot of freelancers that don't have a lot of legal experience or contracts and things like that. So this really helps them along the way.
Yeah, so two big, I think, product learnings that we had that relate to that. One is, freelancers are, almost by definition, business is one. And so whenever something goes right or whenever something goes wrong in a project, they can only learn from themselves. Whereas the benefit of Bonsai is we have, tens of thousands of freelancers on the platform. So we can take, the data and the learnings from, what gets a freelancer paid fastest, what helps them close deals, what helps them, stabilize their income. And we can apply those kind of learnings and those best practices to the entire, everybody within Bonsai. And then the second thing is, contracts is a great example. There's a lot of stuff that you should do as a freelancer, like have a contract, but is, very scary or is very complicated. And, when I started freelancing, I think I downloaded some, Word document that was like 50 pages long. And I was like, I don't know what the heck's going on here. These are all like words I don't understand. And so, Bonsai spent the time working with a bunch of lawyers to have these very simple templates, to make the process, to create it very simple.
You have it so that when they accept the proposal, it actually will start building out the invoices and really start that workflow going, right? That's one of the advantages I saw, is really making it automated. And also the e-signing is really big. I know as a freelancer myself, having to go and get them to sign things, getting the check money and that sort of thing in person is really time consuming. So having them just go in, click the button, and legally be able to sign that contract is much easier, and having it automate the invoices too.
Absolutely. The other thing is, we have the option. We're working towards automating everything. But if you want to go in and do things manually, you can do that yourself as well. So, awesome that you're using it in an automated way. That's obviously what we're building towards. But we know some people want to create the invoices manually, or their client prefers to sign it physically, and so they need to download a PDF version. Like we support all that as well. So it can be as automated or as as manual as you would like.
Yeah, because some clients are obviously stuck in the past and want that paper copy, right? So
yeah, for sure. We support when we obviously support online payment, but if you get paid by cash or check or whatever it is, we support that as well. You can go in and manually mark your invoices as paid. So kind of supporting both ends of the spectrum there.
That's awesome. So one of the things that Bonsai has is a lot of free tools. I just wanted to mention those, put a shout out to those, because you do have some really great tools, especially for knowing what your rate is. You have over 40,000 freelancers that you had their rates sort of surveyed and put it into a great tool.
Rate Explorer.
Which is really neat.
Yeah.
This is really incredible. So people can go in and see by their industry what the average rates are, and that's one of the big misnomers, that people go in not knowing what to charge. So having that tool is definitely really helpful. It's great that this tool is built by people who were into freelancing before. What we do, and you're really built for freelancers by freelancers. So that's always a good thing. So thanks so much for joining me on the call, and really good luck to you guys and the team. And you're doing a great job at Bonsai. So thanks a lot.
Absolutely. No, really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks so much.